Now, the Ghana Revenue Authority says it will start cracking the whip on workers who failed to file their tax returns. This move follows several amnesties, according to the authority, with the hope that employees will willingly comply with the law, which makes filing taxes mandatory. Speaking on Upfront with Raymond Akwa, the Commissioner General of the GRA, Emmanuel Kofi Inti, explained one cannot refuse to obey this law merely because their employers deduct taxes from their salaries.
GRA is going to bite. What we're going to do is that once we are widening the tax with the thing and the rest, the next thing is getting all Ghanaians to file their tax.
File taxes?
Yes, that's the rule.
When?
And by the 30th of April every year, all potential taxpayers, Ghanaians, when they are outside the country, they are in the UK, they are in the US, they are in Canada and the rest, they have to pay their taxes.
What does it mean?
That's a culture.
Okay.
That's why we want to bring down to our people here. And to start off, we gave tax amnesty. And now that the time has elapsed, expired, now is the time to bite. And fortunately, at the GRA and at our level, we know how we manage to get everybody into the tax net.
I see.
And we are going to work at that. And 2019, and it's not a joke time.
Explain to me, what does it mean? What do you mean when you say that I should file my taxes?
File your taxes is saying that the income that came to you in a year, you have to let the state know. Yes, the income that came to you in a year, and then relate it to the tax brackets, the bands and the rest, and be able to determine that this is the level of income that came to you. And so then you have to be able to be taxed on that.
GRA knows my salary. There's a deduction from my salary that comes to the GRA all the time.
No, it's Raymond, your income is not only your salary that comes to you.
Which other one?
The Joy knows you to the extent that it gives you your pay.
Yes.
But Joy doesn't know you fully. It's you, Raymond, as you sit.
Yes.
You alone, you know the totality of the income that comes to you.
Okay, so if I go and do what we call galaxy, now you have to take money from it.
Yes, you have to. Account for all the income that came to you in a year.
Well, I've been joined by Northern Akwa Hayford, he's an editor with Joy Business, to give us more details and explain to us what it really means to file your taxes. Now, we heard from the GRA boss. I earn my monthly keep from this organization. Shouldn't it be easy for the GRA to, let's just say I don't get any gifts or I don't do any side jobs? Why should I personally also go and file my tax returns every year?
It's become important that you do it so they are able to cross-check if indeed your company is also paying the right taxes for and on your behalf. Because we've seen companies that sometimes go to under-declare, so you are earning so much and they probably are not paying the right amount of taxes on your salary that you're supposed to, be earning. So the thing that we need to know, and there are a lot of things go on, and I wouldn't want to go into those things, how companies are even able to, dodge taxes, let me use that word, instead of saying invading and all that. And the filing of tax returns is mandatory, even for the company itself and for you, the individual. Now, after each accounting year, 2018 just ended, you have 4 months within which you must file your tax returns. And that's both for the company and the individual. And that's how come they're able to check. So if, let's say, MGL says we paid so much taxes, and the income taxes that we filed every month, or we paid every month, for Northern Akwa Hayford and Benis Abubedu Lansa, this is how much it is. When you file, they will see. And don't forget that sometimes at the middle of the year, there are increments in salaries. So all these things helps them to be able to check. So as against, okay, at the beginning of the year, we saw that you were paying 2 cedis for Northern, and then it went to 3 cedis. How come? Oh, it's because there was an increment in his salary. Maybe he earned a promotion, his salary, went up. And so that's the reason why they do these things, for compliance sake.
Well, why should I, the question is, I'm sure for many people, is why should I personally go and file my tax returns? Shouldn't the system make it easy for the GRA? For example, I believe the companies pay taxes on the income of their
because that's deducted as source, even before you get
your So then, why should I personally also pick all my monthly income, carry it to the GRA again? It makes the whole system cumbersome. I feel that people think, just do your checks there. Why is it necessary? Why is it necessary for individuals who have regulated salary structures, those in the formal sector, to still go ahead to file for their tax returns?
You know, we talk of the fact that we pay a lot of taxes, and I'm sure that in the mind of the GRA, initially I did indicate for them to check and double check who watches the watchman. That's what we say. So the company has declared so much. When you come with your returns, then they are able to know if indeed, and do the cross check.
What am I supposed to file? And how do I go about it?
Okay, so there are forms that are available.
Okay.
And I'm sure that so long as the commissioner had stated that this time they're going to be ensure that people file their returns, they're going to make all this available to the company. So let's say our accounts people, when they go and file their taxes, the tax returns for the company, they'll be given these individual forms for which you will fill. And there are portions that they also have to sign off on it to indicate. But remember that there are reliefs that they give to you and I for having filed our tax returns, and if everything is okay. Now, some of the reliefs are very simple. If you have, let's say, a dependent, let's say you are married. You're married, so obviously you're entitled to that relief. Child education, if you have children that you're looking after their education. Old age relief, that is for your parents. And then you also have the Provident Fund, which is 16.5%, and then your SSF, all these things. Because you indicate all these things in your returns. And if you go to a place like the US, that's why citizens of countries like the US or the UK, at the end of the period when they have to file their tax returns, even if they are outside, they make sure that they do it, because those countries, the reliefs are given back in cash. So there's a check that will hit your mail and say, okay, when you filed your returns, we realize that you are entitled to a relief of, let's say, $1,000, $10,000, $5,000. They take it. I mean, for Ghana here, because we've not been practicing this, I'm wondering what would be the system in ensuring that, or the format that will be used, whether it means that the following year, because I don't see this happen where you say the following year will reduce the amount of taxes. Reliefs are reliefs, and you must give me the check back. You know, these are the things that must be done. And those are the things that, you know, are supposed to be used in encouraging to say that, okay, you've paid so much taxes, but we acknowledge the fact that you have a child that goes to school. We acknowledge the fact that you look after your aged mother. We acknowledge the fact that you are married and you are paying, your husband is paying. And so, you know, we have to give you certain reliefs so that at the end of the year, you take these checks and then you can also use it for other things. I mean,
apart from your monthly income, what else does the GRA expect you to file in your tax returns?
Okay, so you must declare all taxes in terms of when you get a gift, you're supposed to pay tax. So if you have paid, you have the receipts. In media, we say we have galamsey. So you have gone to MC a program, they have paid you, they have deducted the 5% corporate or withholding tax. When they take that, you must ensure that you take the receipt so that when you are filing your tax returns, you indicate all that into it. So all the taxes that you have been paying, so long as you have receipts to prove it, as far as your company is concerned, that's why I said when you fill the forms, you will have the accounts office also sign off at a place, given that, okay, yes. But when it comes to the withholding tax that maybe was taken from some income that you're supposed to earn, you must take a copy of that receipt and then you attach that to your forms and then submit.
Norvan, this sounds like a very painful practice for many people because, you know, at the end of the month, everybody is excited about what you get, especially what you get on the side because, well, who's checking really to see that you're paying tax on your gifts and other jobs you do on the side? Help us understand what the benefits are if I'm able to sacrifice now and pay the taxes on, for example, extra gifts. Does that help me in the future?
It does, because I mean, just as I did indicate by giving you the reliefs that you can sort and which you are entitled to as per the same law, that says we are supposed to be compliant. At the end of the day, remember, you're paying taxes. That is what is being used in constructing roads and all those things that you have to. And I always say that we allow GRE to get a lot of money. And so at the end of the year, even what they are getting, they claim they are not meeting their targets. But per the rules, they must assign a percentage which will be used in, reimbursing you and I when we file our tax returns. And you can only get those reliefs when you file your tax returns. And I think that we need to be able to do that. We are asking for more infrastructure. We cannot get it if we do not pay the taxes. We must ensure that all the taxes that we need to pay, we pay them. A lot of these side jobs that we do, you and I know that the people are paying us and we are not, they are probably not even taking the 5% withholding tax that they're supposed to take out of it, and then they're not going to GRA to ensure that they do it. And that's why we say that the former system is overburdened. I'm sure that if everybody is doing it rightly, we won't have these challenges that we are supposed to have. And you as an individual, you must just ensure that when you get these things and they take off the tax, you go for those receipts, you keep them, and then ensure, even when they don't, you have to, when you take the full amount, you must go to GRA, declare and pay. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Because if I am giving you money for emceeing a program, you charge me 3,000 cedis, and I give all the 3,000 to you, you must go to GRA and then declare that you did a job for Norvan, and Norvan has paid you the money, and the 5%, this is the money, the 5% is so and so, which will be 150. You pay, you take your receipt.
I'm curious, does this help in any way with pension and what you earn at the end of the day, the amount of taxes you pay?
When it comes to pensions, you are contributing to your pensions fund. I mean, you have the second tier that we are doing with these trust companies, and the first tier with the social security guys that are also collecting those ones. So, I mean, clearly, when it comes to pensions, you realize that that's why they indicated, and I just need to read something to you. I indicated here that there's some percentage that you get in terms of relief. Also on that, it says that your provident fund 16.5% of it, and then the SSF Social Security Fund contributions also 5.5%. I mean, all these things are available. They accumulate for you. So we need to get into the mood or the point where we must comply to the laws. We must force GRE to also do the right thing, because you and I are not filing. That's how come they take all the money and then they give it to government. But if we're filing, they will know, and I'm sure that it will help in government projections even as well. We know that, okay, there are 5 million people who would file their tax returns. The last year we spent so much in terms of the reliefs that we gave them. This year we're going to spend so much in terms of the relief.
Thank you very much. Norvan Akwa-Hayford is an editor with Joy Business, just helping us understand what it really means to file your tax returns. Like you heard, you have up until April to file your tax returns for the year 2018, and the GRA is saying that this time they will not let anyone who defies the law get off the hook.